Rob, Jordan, Luther, and Josh from Olds College Turfgrass Management to teach you more about setting up an irrigation blowout with the Rainbird Cirrus Software. Setting this up will make blowing out way easier in the future by simply running the program at blowout time and making it less stressful in the planning. We'll show you the quickest method, and I hope it helps you in the future. Let's get started.
Okay, so we're going to click on our program builder, and we've got number 13 blowout program set up already. So schedule 1, 2, 3, and 4. We've got our golf course split into 4 quadrants. Now, in order to do that, you're going to click on add program, and then you're going to type in which you want here. So blowout 2. You don't want to use the quick IR, you want to click on the standard. Reason being for that is the quick IR button is going to import your map with preconceived ideas of how it should flow, the system, being that you want to go away from the clubhouse and be in absolute control of each sprinkler head in a systemic order. So that's why we click standard. There's our second program. We don't want that. We're going to add schedule here. So just walk through that. Schedule 1, again, we want that by station, not by area, because we want to be able to control or minimize as much human error as possible. And again, always progressing away from the clubhouse, or sorry, the pump house. Okay, so now that we've got that, we don't need that, so we're going to delete the second blowout program. We just want to stick with our first one, which again has already been inflated with schedules 1 through 4. We're going to focus on schedule 3 here, specifically on the 5th hole. So we're just going to zoom in, and we're going to zoom in one more time, just so that we can really focus on, again, the 5th hole.
Alright, now we're going to work on adding it to the 5th hole here. So we'll start at the tee box, because we want to start at the highest point closest to the pump house and work away from it. So all we have to do is, once we click on schedule 3, is start selecting our sprinklers, and we're going to work our way heading south from the pump. So now we'll alternate on the fairway, slide down here, and we'll just keep going, selecting every head on the way down. We don't want to forget about this guy in the rough. Alright, almost at the bottom of the fairway now. Alright, now we finally reached the green. We're going to make sure we get every nozzle around here. So you got to be careful, as some of them are very close to each other, and you might mess up and miss one. Once you feel comfortable and that you've selected all of them, you are now set to go. We'll head up and we'll click up on blowout. Right click, and we're going to head down to properties. Now all that we're doing here is we're going to click on force progression and sequential, and all this is going to do is make sure that all of those nozzles we just clicked go in the order that we clicked them, so that it's all going away from the pump house.
Okay, so from here we're going to click on program detail, and now you can see that everything we just did has been input into our program detail as blowout. We want to ensure that only blowout is selected, so we will deselect all the others and then go over and set a start time. So we want to start this at 8 a.m. as that's when we're going to begin our blowout in the morning. So now that that row is selected, we will go into the next tab, and as you can see, our 4 schedules are also there. And now we have a 10 there, which means 10 stations were set to run, and we want to preset that to 2 stations running so that only 2 2 irrigation sprinklers are going to come up at a time. And then because our program starts at 8 a.m., we also want to set our first schedule to run at 8. And then you want to deselect the other ones because we just want to find out how long it takes for this one program or this one schedule to run. So now I can exit out of that. And now we need to change how long those sprinklers are going to run for. So we'll go up to the water saver. And as you can see, this is set to 100%, which as prior was set as 100% equaling 10 minutes. So we only want to run each sprinkler head for 3 minutes. So we're going to set that to 30%. Once that's done, you can exit. And then we will go to our dry run. We want to make sure that this is set up for our proper start time of that program, so 8 a.m., and give it enough time to run through so that we can see just how long it takes for this one schedule to run. So it will do its thing, and once it is stopped, you can hit the stop button, and there. As you can see, the program started and ran at 8 a.m., and it went until 12:15 p.m., about there. So now to ensure that every head did run, you can click on the little tab and it'll show each head having 3 minutes. Now as you can see, there is a 6 and a 0 there. We did mess up when selecting our sprinkler heads. So once you found that, you would go back and fix that. So now that we do have our end time of 12:15 p.m., we will go back into the program detail. We will ensure that that blowout is selected. So then we will tab into it. And then our second start time would be 12:15 p.m. And this is so that our blowout program will run once at 8 a.m. and then run again at 12:15 p.m. because we want to get all that water out. So now we'll do the same thing. We'll make sure the time is set and we will dry run it again and see how long this takes, because we are going to run our program 3 times on each schedule to really get all that water out of the system. So it is stopped. So now we will slide over and see what time it ended at, about 4:38. So we would set the next program for 4:40. And we just want to ensure each head ran again. And as you can see, it did. Now each head has had 6 minutes, which means the program ran twice. And so just reconfirming that time, so 4:38. So we will set in the program detail that next time as 4:40 p.m. And then this would be the last time that that schedule would run for, getting all the water out of that area. So now we'll go and do a dry run again if you wanted to do it a 4th time to see how long that it really took and to make sure that the program will run 3 times and run successfully. And now we will check, and yep, all the heads ran 3 times for a total of 9 minutes on every head, which is exactly what we wanted. And the program ended at 9:05 p.m. So now if we wanted to set that time and do 4 runs, we would take that 9:05 time and we would input it into the 4th time slot. But we are only going to do 3. And so now, once we have done this once for one schedule, we would do it again for the next 3 by deselecting the previous schedule and selecting the new one and doing this over again so that each schedule would have its proper amount of time to run, because each schedule will take a different amount of time to complete.
All right, so in summary, we set up a blowout program with the Rainbird Cirrus Software via the map and as opposed to the manual way in order to make it easier to follow and just more coordinated. We did this by scheduling heads to push away from the pump. We did it 3 times throughout our whole golf course in order to get all the water out of the areas, and we followed the pipes and added the scheduling. So I hope it helps you guys in the future. Thanks for watching.